Hello, this is the 67th lecture of the Semantic SEO course, and in this lecture we'll continue to examine our first article example. So once we complete our macro context creation in the content brief, the first thing that you should be doing is actually focusing on the order of these things and also the connections. Because defining something and directly going to the main benefit of it might create some certain types of discourse integration problems. Discourse integration tries to understand the context of the sequential sentences, which means that from a sentence to another, there should be a certain types of contextual connection. Most of the time, to be able to provide that connection in a better way, I am trying to use some mutual words. I call them anchor segment. In other words, whichever word that you can see in this specific sentence, some of them will be repeated in the next one. It might be the water, or it might be something else, like whether it is groundwater, whether it's human, or whether it is actually members of the, let's say, human, like females or the males, or a kind of adult, because these means female human, male human, or adult human body. And whenever we use these anchor segments, it means that we are flowing the context from definition to the benefits. And while doing that, we are trying to define and qualify every benefit one by one. Once we complete our specific macro context with a certain type of degree, sometimes I try to use the specific context terms directly at the end of the macro context section. For instance, how much water you should drink per day, the benefits of drinking water in the morning, or benefits of drinking water during dinner, benefits of drinking a lot of water, and whether drinking a gallon of water per day. In this case, actually, we tell that all these things will be giving you the benefit of hydration, which is one of the main benefits in this area, or the meaning of, or the synonym of drinking water, basically. Then we always, whenever you have a representative image, as I mentioned inside the PH one, we always try to tell that in the sentence before the image, or after the sentence after the image, we try to qualify the image in a connected way, because whatever I write into this representative image, it will be inside my actual macro context. The root section will be inside this area. Then we put all the instructions in this part directly to do our diagram one more time. And once we do that, all these specific benefits, they will be connected to all these sequences or the variations of the sequences. In a basic way or in a different way, we are using our knowledge domain terms and the contextual terms, and we are using our definitions and the main benefits physiologically or by connecting it to the also biological processes or homeostatic functioning and some other areas at the same time. If you look at here, you will see that in our specific macro context area, we actually give a few institutions, situations, and the researches. For instance, sufficient, safe, acceptable, physically accessible, and affordable water for personal and domestic use is recognized by the United Nations as a fundamental human right. As you see, at the beginning, it is not directly related to the benefit of water, but it is connected to the vitality of the water at the same time. Lack of water as a fundamental resource is associated with the emotional distress and negative mental health outcomes, according to the researchers at Arizona State University. Once you use the word research, or let's say the university section here, it will be helpful for you to prove that from even the beginning, the article actually has a scientific nature, since we are also be able to use percentages and science terms or knowledge domain terms from a scientific approach. So you should understand one really important thing. When you look at an article, the most important part is your entry section, outro section of entire article, and always the subordinate text. The subordinate text is the entire text that comes after your heading. And the first sentence that comes after the heading, it is the most important sentence for the rest. If this section is not quality enough or responsive or relevance enough, they might not even check the rest. It is called actually predictive information retrieval. To decrease the cost, they can actually predict the rest while just checking a small portion of it, especially inside the news industry, is a possibility that we see. But basically, in our macro context area, you should understand that psychologically or physically or nutritional value of the water, they are being given inside the sentences by just adding some transitions to them. And once we add everything, we use our context terms at the end of the beginning. And inside our diagram, we always give a kinds of qualification, an implication of the diagram while writing our specific benefits and the macro context one more time there. And of course, we brand the image as well. Thank you. In the next lecture, we will try to understand page-wide characteristics with a kind of, let's say, search function together.